Hi, Derryfield. My name is Raina Stimson. I'm the Dean of Students for Derryfield, one of the Deans of Students. And I just want to welcome you back to our 2021-22 school year. And so happy that you're all back on campus and that we're together. And it's really exciting. And I wanted to introduce our all-school president. Her name is Maya Marsden. For those that are new and didn't know her last year, she's a senior. I'm going to have her kind of introduce herself, and then we can get into the nitty gritty.
Hi, Derryfield. Just again, my name is Maya Marsden. I'm a senior and the all-school president, so that just means that I represent all of the students here at Derryfield. I'm really excited for this year and all of the amazing things to come, especially after last year and everything that we learned and went through. So thank you also to the students who came out to the leadership conference last week. We had almost 30 kids show up during their summer, and it speaks volumes about the student leadership here at DS. So that was really great and exciting. A start of school student leadership video is a new tradition here at DS. Some of you might remember it from last year, and we hope that it will be helpful to the whole community. Thank you to all the students who encouraged families to upload their information into Magnus this summer so that we would know how many layers of protection we would need. Thanks to this information, we know that we have almost 90% vaccination rate among eligible students and adults. And that is helping our experts at Fusion Cell guide us as to how students should move throughout our day.
So thank you, Maya, for that introduction. This video is broken up into two segments. Segment number one, or part number one, is going to help us to deepen our understanding about the start of school protocols that you need to know right away, and a couple of other essential pieces of information. Part two will be more slated for advisory, and you'll watch that the day after Labor Day or in that week. You're going to hear from more student leaders about the Big 10, which are our basic guidelines that help us to shape our culture. We will go more into depth on that next time, and also a lot of new student initiatives that are happening that will benefit everybody. So I hope that you enjoy this video. It's a day in the life type of video where Maya and her two friends, Josue Perez from the junior class and sophomore Leah Munoz, will be showing you sort of around campus. And you'll notice, if you were here last year, things will be very different for now, as far as things are going right now, in a good way.
Let's start with what you need to do before you come to school. First of all, if you're sick, please stay home. You'll also start the day by answering your health questions in Magnus. This includes checking your temperature and reporting any symptoms. The reason that we are doing this is to remind ourselves about symptoms, and that if we have them, we should stay home out of caution for others. If you do feel sick during the day, then also please see Ms. Shaughnessy. There will be no more spit tests for any of the grades as of now, and the theme for this year is universal masking. The concept of universal masking means that masks are always on, except when they're not. You arrive at Derryfield and wait for instructions regarding your particular classroom space. Depending on the number of students in the classroom and the activity you are doing, as if you were working closely, you may need to wear a mask. We are looking for 3 feet of distance between people. Masks are on, these masks being of your choosing, 2 or 3 ply masks, in the hallways and when working closely with others for more than 15 minutes at a time. With bigger crowds like the A&W and in the theater during community meeting, we will mask. You can work outside or participate in athletics with no mask. However, please mask whenever you want to. Remember that we need to be flexible and watch the overall situation in New Hampshire. And things could change, so flexibility is the name of the game in terms of having layers of protection if needed. Because 6th graders are not eligible for the vaccine, they will be masked, and we will be masking around them when in mixed groups in order to protect them. Now for lunch. In the upper school, lunch outside is permissible and encouraged. Students can eat inside. However, you may eat anywhere where there is not a carpet. If there is a carpet, no food. You can pre-order your lunch up until 12 o'clock the day before, including a drink. You can go in and grab your lunch this way with no waiting time. For the middle schoolers, 7 and 8s will be in the Mackinac room to eat, while 6s will be eating in their classrooms with their teachers. Middle school students will also be asked to leave their phones in their lockers for the day unless checking for texts from their parents at lunch. Remember to mask when leaving your classrooms and passing times. It's always best to err on the safe side of things. This includes when using the locker rooms and restrooms, because you may not know the condition of others around you. Please be respectful of all personal situations. This includes not making others feel uncomfortable about masking or not masking. Students will again be back in clubs, activities, X-Blocks, and musical theater. Again, where there are ineligible students, we will mask for their protection. The upper school chorus is unmasked and the middle school chorus will be masked, except if they are outside because of mixing with the 6th grade. We will be wearing masks on the bus. Keep masks on when you depart and head inside to your classroom. Your first period teacher will be doing attendance in the upper school. In the middle school, you will head to your homeroom classroom. You will find this out from your advisor. All students will park in front of the main building. Sophomores and juniors will have the lot adjacent to the A&W. Faculty can park in the middle school lot. Buses will pick up and drop off on the side of the A&W. Upper school parent pickup will also be on the rotary. Middle school kids will be picked up in front of the middle school by 2:40 or will attend study hall in the S&I. If you are in middle school study hall, parents will be required to come inside and pick up the kids. Parents will wear masks and should enter through the doors at the far end of the science hallway. Any visitors this year will be masking while on campus in the fall. In the upper school, you will note that the lockers have been removed due to removal of asbestos under the floor in the 200 wing or second floor. There are some lockers that remain in the upper school. Priority will be given to students with medical accommodations, i.e. an ACL tear, sprained ankles, etc. We are adding bins and benches and chairs in these hallways so you can sit and eat lunch and gather with your friends to do work. Remember, if you are sitting closely after you eat, you should mask up. Everyone has a locker in the A&W. You can lock it as well. All middle school students will have lockers.
Thank you all for sticking with us through all the protocols and helpful information. So thank you to Maya for going over all of that. And I'm sure other questions will come up. So do not be afraid to email us, rstimpson@derryfield.org, or Maya, what's your email address?
It's tutu.mmarsden, MARSDEN @derryfield.org.
Yeah, so please feel free to shoot us an email if something occurs to you during the day you're just confused about that we didn't get to. So we're going to highlight here quickly the first day of school, which is Friday, September 3rd, after retreats. This will be your first day of classes, and Maya is going to take a look at the upper school, and I will briefly just touch base about the middle school.
So you might notice that we have all of our classes on the first day of school. This is just so you get to meet your teachers, find your way around classes, especially if you're new. We will be having our matriculation assembly or our first day assembly in that first community meeting block. You'll also notice a second community block from 2:30 to 3. This little short community block will act as an academic block on this first day of school.
Awesome. And then one thing to note, as Maya, just a reminder it's really helpful to pre-order your food for lunch so that you can just go and grab it. We'll have your name on it, kind of like Panera or some other places now, how we've adapted, right? Through COVID, that is just easy to pre-order it, pick it up, but there will be other options for you. So do not worry. All the upper school eats at the same time. You can eat anywhere in the building that there is not a carpet. The hallways will have some benches. In the upper school, S&I, Science and Innovation Center. Outside is also still an option. So please, when in doubt, outside, if it's a nice day, we have chairs. We'll still have the tent. Even if it's kind of rainy, you can still sit outside. You can bring your own chair too. I don't know, I should say that because where the camping chair is going to live, I don't know. But anyway,
I'll keep it in my car.
yeah, yes, older students, thank you. You could do that. You'll note that at the end of the day, we've added half an hour, which we did not have last year, upper schoolers. So you'll have half an hour every single day to be able to meet with faculty, your teachers, or someone like myself or anyone, counselor. So please email ahead of time if possible. That way the person knows you're coming. And then you'll have athletics at the end of the day. You'll see here it goes to 5:30 in the upper school. So for the middle school, you'll notice the big difference is that students in the upper school go straight to their first block class. There won't be a specific door also to go into like we had last year for Magnus checks. You will do Magnus at home, but you will have that all in attendance, everything done in your first period class. Where in the middle school, you'll have a warning bell and you go to homeroom, as Maya said earlier in the video. And you can see here too, the first day schedule. And a little different in the middle school, you can see that the end of the day is 2:25 and then sports. And again, Maya talked about if you're not going to be picked up in time, you can't just hang out anywhere. You have to go to the Science and Innovation Center where we provide a study hall for you. So that's that. I wanted to make sure I highlight about the dress code because of course, what do you wear the first the first day of school? Well, the first day of school is picture day. We did not have that last year. So many of you like to dress up for pictures or however you dress. Just know that you'll be in the yearbook and it'll be on MSA as well, your picture. And I wanted to highlight just in general for you to know what the dress code is at Derryfield. So you can make plans and go shopping if you need to go shopping as you're preparing for school. So we always want to highlight that Derryfield promotes a reasonable approach to attire that encourages both self-respect and mutual respect while still reflecting the presence of an academic community. We're in a rigorous academic community. We're at school, right? And because we're at school, we want to pick out clothing that's quote unquote suitable for school. So that's very general. So I need to be more specific to help you. So I'm about to do some guidelines here so you know what's appropriate to wear. We're not at the beach. We're not working outside and helping our parents in the garden or mowing the lawn. So we want everything to be under the umbrella of school appropriateness. And anything that's really questionable, please ask me ahead of time. Students here are so great. They always ask, is this okay? Is that all right? Perfect. Be proactive. Ask your advisor, ask me, ask Maya. And then if we find something's outside of the norm, I would have a conversation with you. Obviously in the beginning of the year, you're still getting used to everything, but we do want you to know out of the gate what's expected. So here are the following guidelines. And they're found in the student handbook. So athletic apparel is now permitted. In the past, it was not. So that's a big win in terms of something that we changed during COVID that we loved. We want to obviously continue allowing you guys to be, we're being as flexible as we can. However, clothing cannot not be torn or frayed, not ripped or torn. And no, it doesn't matter if you have the pockets under, if you have something underneath, if it's torn or frayed, it's not appropriate for school. Footwear must be worn at all times, so no cleats in the buildings, please. B&G works really hard to keep this building tip-top shape, so we're not going to destroy any property, obviously. Hats and hoods, we're going to allow it as you're walking around campus. As you come into the classroom, please take any kind of hat or hood off so that you can have good eye contact with your teacher, but also your classmates out of respect for them to maintain good eye contact. No clothing with inappropriate language or symbols of any kind, vulgarity, bigoted language, belittling language, exclusionary language, imagery, or anything that has to do with tobacco, alcohol, or any drug use. We're obviously not going to reveal anyone's underwear at any point during the school day. And we'll talk more at a different time about what is formal attire, but you'll see that In the Big Ten, we go over what formal attire means and some guidance there. The number one thing to remember, and this is from day one, is that our number one standard at Derryfield, fundamental standard of our top 10, is treating people with respect, care and respect. And that is so important in our culture. I wanted to highlight it right away and not wait for the next video, because out of the gate, you're communicating with friends on group texts, and you're riding on a bus, and you're playing sports, and you're in a locker room, and you're in a bathroom, and you're in different places where adults are not. And so we really stress the importance of being respectful. We take that very seriously, and we want to create a warm and inclusive culture here. And anything outside of that does really stand out at Derryfield. And we actually encourage people to report. You can always talk to the person directly, but if something, if someone's being harmed, we actually do really encourage reporting, and so that we can get right on that and help the person that's being harmed, and also help the person that's saying or doing things that are harming others, so that we can get them on the right track right away. So thank you so much, Maya, and you'll be hearing more from us next week, and we're going to include more student leaders in our video from discipline committee, lead committee, and class council, just so you can hear about other initiatives that are going on that are awesome from our student leaders. If you take pictures highlighting retreats and different things, games, or anything that you find amazing and you want to really celebrate that, please send it to Maya and myself, so that we can put it on our Derryfield student portals that we're working on. And also, we're creating an Instagram page to really highlight the school spirit that Derryfield has. So anything like that, anything fun that you're involved in, please send it our way so we can celebrate you. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.